Well, our next guest here in the studio is known as the man behind Boxica, originally coming from Wales. He moved into the Marines, but at the age of 16, he had a near-death experience that left him nearly brain damaged. He turned to fitness and boxing and now has been in Dubai, where he's an inspiration to 600 members of Boxica, and he's doing incredible work to help people with both their mental and physical fitness. And Cyrus Rostom, thank you very much for coming into the studio. Good to see you.
Thank you for having me. Great to be here.
You've brought the whole family in. Even
my dad's here.
He's come out for the Christmas period.
Yeah, Hannah. Yeah, she has. Yeah, my dad's just retired actually.
All right.
Yeah, 40 years working in a factory as an engineer, and now he's living the dream in Dubai.
That is the ultimate Dubai story. Coming from Wales, out of the cold and the wet for Christmas, to spend it here in the sunshine.
Yeah, exactly.
Your stories are incredible. Talk to me about, where was the moment in your life where you realised you wanted to get into fitness and help others with their fitness?
That's a great question. I started training when I was early teens to join the Royal Marines. So I've been consistently training since I was like 13 years old. So that was my motivation to start fitness. Before that, I wasn't really into it. And I've kept it up because it makes me feel so good, right? It's
physically and mentally?
Absolutely, both of them. Without it, I am a different person. I'm negative, I've got low energy, I'm moody all the time, I don't sleep well, I start getting low confidence. So for me, it's like, why would I choose that? You know, it's a no-brainer to just keep up with my fitness and feel so good.
Right. There's a story, Cyrus, which everyone wants to understand. That every time you come out to do something really big, if there is a narrative that helps you stay motivated, do better. And in your case, there was a story like this, right? A near-death experience, and then a complete turnaround in your life. What was that story?
I was in a hospital in Oman recovering from a severe head injury.
Okay.
I got trapped between two trucks and got my head crushed. So I'm in hospital recovering after a couple of surgeries. I've got spinal fluid still dripping out my nose. I've got my jaw wired shut. My head is like 3 times as big as it is now. It's completely black and bruised, and I'm feeling quite sorry for myself. But then one day, there was a guy in the room with me who was clearly disabled, and I had asked one of the nurses what was the story with this guy. Well, I didn't ask, I wrote it down because I couldn't speak. And she said, well, but by the way, there was an older gentleman that come to visit this guy every day, and he was a very pleasant old man, right? He'd have a smile on his face, he'd come and ask me how I was doing, and then he'd go over and see this other gentleman in the room. And it turns out the guy had been in a serious accident. He crashed his car, his mum and sister were in the car. Unfortunately, they both died.
Oh.
Now this guy had lost all control of his body, but he still had control of his mind. And he was trying to bite himself every day, and the reason was he felt guilty about his mum and sister, so he was trying to kill himself. And she told me that the guy that was visiting him every day was his father.
Okay.
So I, in that moment, realized I've just had basically this accident. I was feeling sorry for myself. Well, I immediately stopped feeling sorry for myself in that moment. And I realized through listening to this poor gentleman's story and seeing how nice this elderly guy was, considering his son had just been disabled for life. His wife had obviously been killed, and his other daughter. So that put things into perspective for me. Right? It gave me massive perspective, and it allowed me to take myself out of the situation as a victim point of view, and got me to realize a benefit, which was, oh my God, my life's going to end one day. I need to make sure that I go for it and I really live a life on my terms.
And so many people I speak to often can look back and they've had those moments. Do you find yourself that you feel fortunate that you were able to have an experience like that now?
I believe that it was meant to happen. I believe the universe was taking me through that experience so that I could live my life in this way now. And I feel very, very lucky. It was the worst and best thing that ever happened to me.
When people that have had experiences like this, that have shaped their lives, and we're fortunate enough to speak to a lot of people that have had those experiences, they often talk about there are times where their mind does tend to wander and they start to go back into periods of feeling sorry for themselves, because it's just natural human nature.
It is.
What do you do in those situations to snap yourself back in to have the correct perspective?
That's a great question. And absolutely, everyone has those moments where the natural response to something happening in our lives is, why me? Why is this happening to me? You play the victim. And what I like to do is I like to look forward to the moment that I'm about to die. Because I was in a moment where I was about to die. And I was very frustrated and angry and upset that I'd not lived life properly. So I project into the future. I'm like, oh, when I'm on my deathbed, am I going to care about this? When I'm on my deathbed, is this such a massive problem? If I don't take this risk right now, how am I going to feel? What regret am I going to feel when I'm about to die? And that's how I try and make a decision.
Interesting. Now, you talk about taking that chance, taking up that opportunity. Was Boxica one of those opportunities that probably gave you that thought that, listen, if I don't do it now,
absolutely,
it's never going to happen?
100%. Yeah, I had the idea to start. It was my second business in Dubai at the time, and it was a scary thing to do. It was a lot of investment, a lot of personal, finance investment from my side to do it. It was a big risk, and I absolutely told myself, well, look, if I don't do it, how am I going to feel in a few years when someone else has done it and I didn't have the balls to take the risk? No, I need to do it.
When you look at the gym, you got the Boxica t-shirt and you're into the fitness, but was boxing specifically something that you always liked? Because obviously in the Marines you've got to be exceptionally fit, the Royal Marines.
Yeah.
What led you to specifically go into boxing with Boxica?
I saw a trend. I've done boxing before, by the way, but that wasn't the reason why. I saw a trend that started in North America that was coming over to Europe, which was allowing people to do boxing that didn't want to be in a male-dominated environment, that didn't want to be punched in the face, that didn't want to bleed, that didn't want a stinky, sweaty, dirty gym. It was the boutique fitness, but boxing style. It was for everyone. The mums could do it, the older people could do it, the young people could do it. You didn't have to fight. It's non-contact. So I just saw that, and I saw an opportunity, and that's pretty much why we went for it.
Yeah, because the perception's different. I went to a white-collar boxing night, which tend to be all the rage at the moment in Dubai, and I was asked to do the fights in the next upcoming fight in June. And I spoke to my mum the next day, and she said, Lachlan, if you do that, you are out of the will. I said I didn't know there was a will.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's the perception that people have with boxing. Yeah, that they just tend to think it's too scary, yet it can actually be. They're some of the fittest athletes on the planet.
Yeah, there's a lot of benefits to do it. I mean, we don't do contact boxing, right? So we don't do any of that stuff. But I feel like as a man, we have this primitive nature to fight. It's built in us, and so I believe men and women actually can gain something from getting in the ring and doing it as an experience. But most people don't want broken noses, which I've had from boxing, don't want black eyes, don't want their teeth knocked out, or in my case, my veneers knocked out. Yeah. So it's about doing it, accepting the benefits from it. And one of the biggest benefits of boxing that people don't understand is the therapeutic effect of it. There is something special about punching.
Oh,
yeah. Talk about it.
I went through a particularly bad time in my life, and I'm sure the only reason I got through it was I was just doing boxing, like cardio boxing classes, and the idea of just hitting the bag at 5:30 in the morning, I'm sure got me through it.
Absolutely. We started with the tagline, "Find your inner hero." And that was just something me and my business partner had come up with. But going through COVID and coming out the back of it, and our members would come up to me all the time and say, this is my therapy. And now we've changed the tagline to boxing is therapy, right? Nice. Because the people spoke.
Now, fitness gyms like yours at Boxica always tend to get a big influx on the 1st of January. Everyone's getting their New Year's resolutions to get fit and all that sort of stuff. But before they even get to that period, have you got any advice on how to stay fit and how to stay healthy during the festive period? Because it's so hard, because every day there's gifts and chocolates and drinks and it's so much temptation this time of year.
There is, absolutely. Well, I would encourage people to shift their mindset a little bit and look at it like this. If you're consistent with your nutrition and training for most of the year, 90% of the time, during Christmas you can do whatever you want. It's not really going to affect you in any way. But if you've been lazy, if you've been eating crap the whole year, if you haven't been training and looking after your body mentally and physically, then something like Christmas could be a problem. So I just shift the mindset on that and say to people, look, for 2024, try and stay consistent, build the habit. Don't try and train every day throughout January. That's not going to help you. Train 3 days a week, build the habit, and do it over the long term.
It's not very easy. I can tell you this, that to keep that consistency on, because you can find 100 reasons to not get yourself to the gym, and you'll probably find only 3 reasons to go to the gym, and those 3 reasons could be New Year's, sister's or brother's wedding because you need to fit in a particular suit or a gown, and the third one could be your own wedding. Apart from that, it's a very rare thing that you see people being consistent. Now, to make that shift in the mindset, like you mentioned, that hey, that mindset has to be switched on, what is the key?
Listen, like I told you at the beginning, that for me, it's why wouldn't you do it? If I was to give you a pill and say, hey, if you're going to take this pill every day, you're going to get loads of confidence,
Right.
mental, physical confidence. You're going to walk with your chin up. You're going to get positivity. You're going to feel the emotions of positivity. You're going to have energy. You're going to sleep better. You're going to feel good about yourself. You are going to excel in life because you are an elevated person. You take that pill, right?
Sure.
Exercise, nutrition, sleep, hydration. There you go. There's the pill. So for me, it's like, why wouldn't I do that? Why would I want to feel negative? Why would I not want to sleep properly? Why would I want low confidence? Why would I want negative emotions? I wouldn't, right? So just do the basics like I just said, and you can basically have that pill, right?
Well, you're an inspirational story. Your dad must be proud of you. Is he? He's here in the studio. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. He's got a Royal Marines hat on.
So
there you go.
So you're a second generation Royal Marine. Was he in there
No,
as well?
he wasn't. I got him
He's
that
just
hat.
well, we'll just make out that he is because he's wearing the cap as well. Cyrus Rostom, congratulations on the success. If people want to have more details, boxica.ae, that's the best place to go.
They can go to Instagram probably. It's Boxica, Boxica, or they can go on Instagram. It's Coach Cyrus.
Coach Cyrus on Instagram. Cyrus Rostom, thank you very much for coming
Thanks
in.
for having me. Appreciate it.
TSB, Talk Sport Business on Talk 100.